Hey everyone, my name is Aaron and this channel is Dad.0. Today we're going to be taking a look and reviewing the Haylou RT LS05S. Now that name's kind of a handful, but what you need to know is that this is a smartwatch with a nice looking display and a very long battery life at a really nice budget friendly price. You can find this at a variety of retailers at around $40 US. So I picked one of these up a couple weeks ago and I've been using it for a while now, and I just want to tell you my review of it. But before that, I want to show you what you get in the box, and I want to show you how to navigate and use the watch. But at any point, if you're not interested in what I'm currently talking about, check out the chapters that I built into the timeline below to get to the stuff that you want to see. First thing I want to do is just show you the unboxing. This comes in a nice small package, just some Haylou branding on it, product image on front, a little bit of specs on the back. Opening this up, and right on top here you have your Haylou RT smartwatch. Taking it out of the box, and it has a nice design, especially for a $40 watch. This looks really good. It's relatively lightweight, has a nice circular design, has some silver buttons on the side of it. I mean, at first glance, this definitely does not look like a cheap watch. On the back you have a heart rate monitor, along with some pogo pins to charge it. I'll get more into the watch in just a minute, but let's see what else you get. So underneath the watch you have your user manual, and the only other thing in the box is a charging cord. No wall adapter here, so you're going to have to use your own or plug it straight into a computer. So some features of this watch. It has a 1.28 inch display that's 240 by 240 pixels. It's a TFT display. That's how you get that amazing battery life. It's not the OLED displays like the Apple Watch and some of the other really nice smartwatches out there, but because of that, you're going to get that amazing battery life. The dial size is about 45 millimeters, and the weight is 50 grams with the strap. So overall, I would say it's an average size watch. It's definitely not the smallest one out there or the lightest, but I wouldn't consider it huge or heavy by any means. It has a 300 milliamp hour battery on it, which they quote at 20 days of standby time. But if you're using this with the 24-hour heart rate monitor mode, you're looking at more about 15 days. Charge time is about 2 hours. This does work with Android and iOS. It has Bluetooth 5.0. It is IP68 waterproof, and it has a bunch of other features like the 24-hour heart rate monitor, like I said before, sleep monitoring, breathe training, step counting, multi-sport mode tracking that I'll get more into in just a minute. You can get call and message reminders, music controls, weather, and a lot more. Now, using this watch is really simple, especially if you're not used to using a smartwatch before. The controls are very easy to pick up. On the top right, you have the power, sleep, and wake button, and it's also a button that if you're in a widget, you can click on to go back. On the bottom right-hand side, you have your quick access button, and this can be customizable. By default, if you press this, it'll bring up the multi-sport modes, so you can quickly get into tracking a workout. And those 12 sports that you can track on this are jogging, fast walking, biking, climbing, spinning, yoga, indoor running, integrated training, gymnastics, basketball, football, and rowing. Now you can use those buttons, but you can also use the touchscreen. So from the dial screen, if you swipe to the left, you can get some quick access widgets just to see how your day's going. So the first one here is your steps, your mileage, and your calories. The next is your current heart rate and your high and low heart rate for the day. The next is your sleep, so you can see how long you slept the previous night and what stages you slept. The next is your weather. The next one is a breathing exercise, and then you're back to the dial screen. Swiping down on the screen will bring up some quick access to settings. You can see the date, the time, how much battery is left. You can quickly click on things like Find My Phone, set the screen brightness, Do Not Disturb mode, or quickly get into settings. And you can also see your Bluetooth connection to your phone. Going back to the dial screen and swiping up brings up a list of all the widgets available. Now I covered some of these already, so I'm going to kind of quickly go through them. Again, you have your stats, which again is your steps, miles, and calories for the day. You have your heart rate monitoring. Sport is how you get into the 12 sport modes that we went over before. Again, you have weather. Sleep is the same as before, where you can see how long you slept in your stages. Notice is your notifications, so you can quickly go and access your most recent notifications here. Music settings, this is where you can actually control the music on your phone. If you click on more, you have a few more features here. You have a stopwatch, a countdown, you can find your phone, and you have that breathe training again. And then you can go to settings where you can kind of customize some things. So you can customize your watch face, screen brightness. You can get more information about the watch in the About section. You can power off the watch or reset it completely. Now all your information is stored in the Haylou Fun app. It's a very basic app, but it's very user-friendly as well. When you go into it, you're brought to kind of a dashboard where you can see, again, things like your mileage, your steps, your calories for the day, how your heartbeat has been trending, your sleep. They have SpO2 on here, however, this watch does not support that. You can do your weight. If you click on Sport at the bottom, you can do your connected GPS for outside workouts. If you click on My, you can get a little bit more information about your profile. You can get into settings here and set goals, change the units that you want to track, and you can also update the watch here. Going back home and clicking on the watch dial here, you can kind of customize the watch a little bit. Clicking on dial settings, you can download some new dial settings. There's not a ton of them right now, but there are a few you can choose from. You can set alarms, customize notifications, turn off and on different reminders and settings, set screen brightness and weather synchronization here, customize the heart rate sensor, incoming calls. You can also do the raise arm to wake feature and customize the time format here. Okay, so that's everything that you get in the box, how you use the watch, all the features to it. So let's just get into my review of it. Again, I've been using this for a couple weeks now, so I feel I can kind of give my initial review of it. And overall, for 40 bucks, I believe this is a great deal, especially for those that don't need to have full-blown apps on their smartwatch and they just want the basics. They want the activity tracking, heart rate tracking, notifications sent to their watch. They want better battery life than what kind of the premium quote-unquote smartwatches offer. And maybe they want something that's just a little bit more like a traditional wristwatch with that circular display, the two buttons on the side. They even have the notches around the bezels. That kind of looks more like a traditional watch. And overall, I think this does have a really great design. When it comes to accuracy, it's a bit of a mixed bag. There's some days where I feel like this is spot on, and when I compare it to my Apple Watch, it's very similar stats. However, there are times where it'll have way more or way less steps than what my Apple Watch says I did, and I trust my Apple Watch just a little bit more when it comes to accuracy. In terms of heart rate, when it comes to resting heart rate, I think this thing is really great. And again, very similar to what my Apple Watch comes back as. When I'm actually working out, it fluctuates a bit more on the high and low ends. But if I had to give it an overall score, I would say it's fairly accurate. But just keep in mind, again, this is a $40 smartwatch. It's not going to be the most accurate thing out there. But if you want a good overview of how active you're being and what your heart rate is doing, I think this does a pretty good job. Battery life has been really good. Again, I got this about 2 weeks ago and I'm still working on my first charge and I still have 20% left in that first charge after 2 weeks. And I do have the heart rate monitor on and I do typically a 30 to 45 minute workout per day. So if you want something that you don't have to charge a lot, this will be a great option for you. And everything else just seems to work really well on this. I get my notifications sometimes faster than what I even get on my Apple Watch. I can't really interact with those notifications, but that's okay with me because sometimes all I want to know is, do I have to grab my phone to respond or answer a call, or can I just leave it in my pocket and I'll get to it later? The UI of the phone and just basic getting around has been really smooth and fluid as well. I rarely notice a lag or a glitch. The Bluetooth connection seems to work very well and I can get a pretty good distance away from my phone and still be connected. The music controls also work great, especially when I'm using it with Spotify when I work out. Sleep tracking has been pretty good. Again, it's not going to be 100% accurate, and that's true of all smartwatches. But if you want a good overview of how much time you're sleeping and at what stages, again, I feel like this has done a pretty good job, especially when I compare it to my Apple Watch. And what all this boils down to is that I think this is an easy one to recommend to anyone that just wants a basic smartwatch that looks good. And for anyone that just wants kind of the basics, they just want a general overview of how active they're being, sleeping, what their heart is doing. They want notifications and call alerts, but they also don't want to spend $200, $300, $400 on a smartwatch when something like this can deliver that to them for only $40 US. So if you're interested in the Haylou RT smartwatch, I'll put a link in the description below for you to check it out, get more information about the specs, see some more reviews of it. Again, guys, I think it's a great budget smartwatch. So thanks for everyone that watched to the end of this video. If you liked the video, press that like button, consider subscribing, and as always, I'll catch you on the next video.